What could you do to protect your pets if you're sick or injured? My product, Save My Pet ID tag, helps you ensure that your beloved pets are safe and well cared for, even when life isn't what you expect.
It is about doggone time that our dogs can join us on flights. I'm not talking about putting them in the cargo area. I'm talking about having them in the cabin, sitting right next to you. We're talking a well-mannered dog of any size. That includes big dogs. Well, on today's show, our special guest has come up with a plan to make the skies truly pet-friendly. Please welcome to our show. He is the founder of K9 Jets, and he is Adam Golder. Welcome to the show, Adam.
Hi, thank you for having me along. I really appreciate it. Nice to meet you.
All right. Now, I know you said you were from Birmingham, but let's get the country.
Yeah, so we're based in Birmingham in the UK. So not to be confused with Alabama, but Birmingham in the UK.
Have you ever been to Birmingham, Alabama?
Do you know what? I haven't. I've got close, but no, maybe I need to just tick off that box, I think.
And I think you should ask in Birmingham, England, if somebody is from America, you should ask them now. Your mission is to ask them if they're from Birmingham, Alabama.
Yeah, I think I'll do that. It would be a good challenge.
Just see you doing this. K9 Jets, what is that? Because, you know, these days it's really tough to fly. I take my cat, who is a therapy cat and teaches pet first aid. We teach cat behavior and cat first aid classes, but he's in a little cargo thing in a little bag in front of my seat. I never put them in cargo, but I have a 35-pound dog who would love to come with us. And there's no way I'm putting Kona in the cargo. So talk about what came up to create K9 Jets, Adam.
Yeah, of course. Well, basically, I worked in media for 20 years. And during COVID, I was furloughed from my job. And
sorry,
I know, but it turned out to be good, right? It created a lot of opportunities for people, and so it certainly grabbed up. So I've always had a passion for aviation, and I've never been able to make a leap from media into aviation. And COVID was that sort of stepping stone for me. So we started up a private boutique charter company, initially targeting super wealthy people that couldn't fly on the airlines because no one was running. But they
I never got the memo. Oh, wait a minute. I got to check my W-2. Nope, I didn't qualify.
Well, we started with we're targeting super wealthy people, high net worth individuals, ultra high net worth that could afford to charter but haven't thought about it previously. And we ran that company for about 1 year and met some really lovely people. But obviously, chartering your own jet is quite out of touch for most folk that are traveling, internationally or locally, domestically in the US. And then one day we had a phone call from a gentleman that was based in London. He was a US citizen, and he was desperate to get his dog back to New York. And he'd phoned me up and said, look, we need a quote for a jet for 10 people and 10 dogs, which is, from a charter perspective, is quite unheard of. So we spoke to him in more detail, and he was part of a group on Facebook that had met together, and they'd all clubbed together and had a pot of money to charter their own jet. So another thing that happened in COVID was that the price of cargo had significantly increased. So when you actually look at the cost of chartering a jet compared to flying your dog in cargo, when you've got 10 people together, there's not a huge amount of difference in the price. So he introduced me to this world of Facebook where there was loads of people getting together to share the cost. But every time we did it, so we helped out probably about 20 groups in 2022. And every time we did it, everyone said, look, you just need to launch your own company, focusing on buying a seat and fly with your dog on the airline, basically, with K9 Jets. And that's where the idea came from.
I love this guy already. We are speaking with Adam Golder. He is a guy that loves animals. He's got an entrepreneur spirit. And as we all know, if you get fired or you get a setback, failures make you a stronger, better person. And he knows how to use social media. So as you were explaining, Adam, you kind of fell into this, but you listened to your audience, your potential target market, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And the people that we meet now, they have one thing in common, and they all love their pets. And we don't just fly dogs, by the way, hence our name being K9. We do actually fly cats. You'd be pleased to know. So,
well, are you sure they're not trying to fly the plane themselves? They're pretty smart and savvy. They could unhook that little, talk to the pilot and say, I got this.
I'm sure they probably could, but no, they're kept well away from the cockpit. But
okay. Any other unusual animal that you would fly? Cats, dogs?
So not 95% of our pets, pet passengers are dogs. Only 5% are cats. That's probably partly because of our name, but most people discover that we're cat friendly. But we've had some geckos fly with us, some bearded dragons.
Anyone's representing any insurance companies? Maybe.
But we've had some bearded dragons, geckos, some birds fly domestically, rabbits as well, and guinea pigs. So, but majority of our dogs, and slightly larger ones than normally, because I know in the US, some airlines will allow smaller pups to fly in the cabin.
Right.
But the beauty of us, we don't have a size restriction. So we have Great Danes, Bernese mountain dogs fly with us. But right down to
one of my dogs. I had a Bernie named Bujo. Yeah. Gentle giant.
Dogs.
Yeah.
Beautiful dogs. But then we have smaller dogs as well. Small terriers, dachshunds, a whole mix. And it's so rewarding to be able to get people from A to B with their family members, because we meet so many people now that want to fly and travel, but they don't think they can because they don't want to put their pet in cargo. And don't get me wrong, cargo is a safe way to fly. 4 million pets are transferred or flown across the world every year, according to our IPATA. And this is just a new solution.
I'm going to jump in and say, if I'm going to take my dogs going first class and they're going to be in the cabin with me, because things can happen in cargo, and I'm in the behavior field, and who knows what they're thinking in cargo. They're like, I didn't even get a meal. So the fact that you have K9 jets, I mean, do you have anybody in your family that was ever a pilot or into aviation, or this is kind of a wild tale, Adam.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we totally fell into it. My granddad back in the day used to build spit in part of the war. I've never had anyone flown, and then when he passed away, he left me a very small amount of money to learn to fly. Sorry, he left me a small amount of money, and with that, I had a flying lesson just to experience it. And I just got hooked on aviation straight away. I have my own private license, but never been able to have the opportunity to fly commercially. So that's where my passions come from, aviation especially.
So there are a lot of people here in the United States. I know obviously in Europe too, but I think after COVID, we found out how much our dogs really are good for us, mentally, physically, you name it. And so what I'm interested in asking you is, do you think COVID, in a weird way, has boosted the public acknowledgement that dogs do a body good?
I think so. I mean, certainly, obviously, we got into this business at the back end of COVID, but from all the research that shows there was a huge amount of pets just within the COVID period, because so many people are on their own for so long during that lockdown period, especially in the UK here. I'm sure it's the same in the US as well. And people see them as their family members, and they're no longer dogs or cats. They're part of your family. And
oh, absolutely.
Most people wouldn't want their family member to go in cargo. So I think the connection is stronger than ever. And like you say, the public acknowledgement, I think, is certainly there to support that.
Hey, everyone. We're speaking with Adam Golder. He is the founder of K9 Jets. We're going to dive in a little bit, or maybe hit new heights with some of the specifics about what K9 Jets is all about, and why and how you should consider maybe having your dog join you on your next trip from one coast to the next. But we got to pay for this show by taking a quick break. So you know the drill. Sit, stay. We'll be right back.
Pet Greens just donated a large amount of catnip and cat grass to Beagle Freedom Project, who recently just converted an animal testing lab into an animal sanctuary called Freedom Fields. Giving cats in a rescue access to cat grass and catnip can really help with their mood or acclimating if they came from outside to inside. And reducing a cat's anxiety really helps their chances of getting adopted. If you'd like to learn more about Pet Greens, or if you're a nonprofit and would like to request some cat grass for your sanctuary, please visit petgreens.com.
Arden Moore here with some great news. I have not one, but 2 calendars coming out in 2025. Order yours now. For my feline friends, it is How to Speak Cat. You're going to learn why and how cats purr and how do they really talk using their tails. For my dog folks, we got How to Speak Dog. Why do dogs dig to dig? And what does it mean when they go belly up? And what does it really mean when they're giving you doggy kisses? Answers are here. Get your paws on the calendars today. Go to Amazon.com or click on this QR code. Paws up. I am chatting with Adam Golder. He is the founder, the genius of Canine Jets. Go ahead, say the website. Let's say if it's easy. Come on, go ahead.
But yeah, it's k9jets.com, or you can visit us on Instagram, and it's just K9Jets. You'll find us straight on there.
So let's be specific. How does this work? Let's say we've got somebody with a Bernese Mountain Dog who's so sweet and cuddly, and they live in LA. And you want to visit your family that live in the Big Apple, New York City, and this dog is welcomed. That's a long road trip. How does Canine Jets, how can you make it a win-win for everyone?
So it's super simple. You head to our website, k9jets.com, and literally put in your from location, so LA. We only fly to and from private airports. So you'll be flying from Van Nuys, which is a private airport in LA. Yep. Then to will be Teterboro in New Jersey, so just outside of New York. And they'll bring up all the dates. So we fly monthly currently between coast to coast. You select a number of passengers you want to come with you, because you have to have one person and one initially. But if you wanted the whole family to come, you're more than welcome to. But you can they only need one person to fly with your dog.
Yeah, you at least have to have one person per pet. You can't have 10 Chihuahuas and one person, right?
No, yeah, we do have a pet limit. So yeah, one person, one large dog, one person basically. But if you wanted to add more people, you can do. But simply enter your pet's details: name, breed, temperament, weight, anything else.
Like peanuts? No, peanuts are bad. Don't give it to them. Okay.
Any other information that we need to know about the pup as well. And literally within 60 seconds, you could have booked a fly with us.
So you're looking for, do you have to have like a health certificate, vaccination records? What some of the specifics?
Yeah, so flying domestically between LA and New York, you don't need anything. So there's no requirements. If you're flying internationally, then that's when you'll need more documents in terms of a health certificate or a GB or EU, depending on what country you're flying to. But flying domestically, you don't need anything, which is super easy when you're flying between LA and New York. Some other states, if you're traveling outside of that area, may require them, like at least a rabies vaccination. But certainly flying domestically, it's super easy.
And you can fit how many in your jets?
So we have no more than 9 people. They seat between 13 and 15 people, but we don't sell more than 9 seats. So typically there'd be 9 people maximum, and typically 9 pups.
And would they be in crates? Would they be on harnesses and leashes? How are they traveling?
So yeah, the beauty of traveling with us is no crates. So they literally sit by your side. So they're on leashes the whole time. So they're not allowed to wander around the aircraft. They have to stay by your side. I know many people have this perception there's a big dog party in the sky, which would not be safe for obvious reasons.
No, they sit by somebody who actually created National Dog Party Day years ago. I did and wrote a book on it. I don't think I want to be partying in the sky with the dogs in a small space.
Obviously, we love dogs, but safety is our number one priority as well for everyone on board, and obviously the crew. But yeah, they're on leashes. They sit by your side or on your lap, depending on obviously the size of them. And they stretch out. They have to stretch out into the aisles. Normally, they sleep the whole way, whatever flight, because the sound of the engines acts like white noise, like with a baby. So they get very sleepy and sleep most of the way. And obviously, if they can see you, you can see them. They're very relaxed, but they're by their owner, so they couldn't be happier.
So cost, we're going to ask that. Do I buy my lottery winning ticket now or later?
Sure. So flying domestically, it is more expensive than flying cargo. It is a luxury ticket, I guess. But so the cost is just over $6,500 from coast to coast.
Is that one way or both ways?
No, that's one way.
Okay.
When you're flying internationally, so to London, for example, that is just over $13,000.
Okay.
But when you have a large dog and you compare that cost of flying cargo, Flying internationally is not much difference.
Give us a reason. Why is that? Because I think I'd rather have my big dog with me than have that big dog in the cargo, and it costs me a lot.
Sure. So basically, some of the options are limited. So you can't necessarily fly directly into the UK. Sometimes you have to go via another country like Germany and then come into the UK. If you're flying cargo, you have to have, for a big dog especially, normally you have to have a special designed crate, which adds cost on. If you want to fly with your dog, you can try and match up the flight that your dog is flying on. So you're flying as a passenger and your dog's flying underneath, but that doesn't always happen. So sometimes your dog could be offloaded for whatever reason, and you're flying without your dog, and your dog gets left there. So some of them,
you're giving a little bit of peace of mind, because if I'm taking my dog, I want my dog where I have eyes on my dog.
Exactly. I think it is peace of mind for owners. And obviously the pets as well, because they're relaxed and they know what they're doing. They can see you. But like I said, there's 4 million dogs that are flown by cargo every year. This isn't just gives folks an alternative option to fly with them if it's within their budget. But internationally, it is very much like for like. And the beauty of flying with us as well is that with cargo, you probably have to leave your dog 1 or 2 hours, probably 3 hours before the flight.
Yes.
And then the other side, once they arrive in the UK or Europe, then it could be 2 or 3 hours of clearing the paperwork. But when
that's a lot of that. You're asking them to hold their bladder for a long time.
Sure. And it's just that time of being away from your pet as well creates passenger anxiety as well as pet. So, but with us, you just need to arrive 1 hour before your flight. There's no queues or lines for security, TSA. It's very relaxed. There's only a handful of people that fly in these terminals. So, and again, the other side, the clearance is normally done on the aircraft, and you get off from there. So it's very much stress-free.
Is there a doggy loo on board?
There isn't a doggy toilet, but we advise our pups or our passengers to restrict their diet slightly before they fly. But we are fully equipped with puppy pads.
That's good. Well, I mean, we're getting something to munch on. What about the dogs? Do people just bring their own little treats for the pets?
So we encourage them not to be fed on the flight, generally because of the air pressure and bowel movements, shall we say.
You don't want a doggy fart at, 30,000 feet?
Yeah. Trust me, when the cabin door opens, there's definitely a few of those, I'm sure. But no, we feed our passengers, but we don't typically feed the pups. People can bring on treats just if they need to. But like I said, they're asleep most of the time. Obviously, they're allowed to keep them hydrated with water. But yeah, it's limited to what you'd normally do at home.
So what's your game plan, Adam? What do you see Canine Jets in 2, 3, 4 years from now? Because you guys are starting off, you're filling a need. What's your hopes and plans?
So, I mean, we want to give people the opportunity to fly with their dog or cat or a pet.
Or gecko.
Whether it's domestically in the US, in the UK, in Europe, everywhere. At the moment, we are currently using private jets, which have a price tag to them. But I think the plan is to be able to offer new routes, connect multiple places together. Eventually, we'll look at using bigger aircrafts, which ultimately will help bring the price down and enable more people to enter this amazing opportunity. But yeah, for now, it's concentrating on our key routes, which is coast to coast in the US, flying internationally from New York and LA to Europe and UK. We're looking at flying our new route to Australia via Hawaii and Singapore and Asia. So the majority of our passengers are flying to relocate. So mainly for work. Some are retiring, but there's so much travel around the world right now with people moving globally for jobs. So that is the majority of our customers right now. A small percentage of people are traveling for leisure. They may have 2 homes, but the majority of people are relocating, and the average folk, their work may have been paying for their relocation. So it's just encouraging more people like that to be able to travel and give people more opportunity, because if you've been offered a job in London, for example, and you live in New York or LA, and you might think, I can't get over there because I can't go for the opportunity because I can't leave my dog, or I don't want to put my dog in cargo. But now you have an opportunity to fly with us and take that opportunity. And life's short.
That makes a good point. I mean, you don't want them on a boat forever to get there, right? And you don't want them in cargo. So it does make sense. If you do the math, it is something that you're with the pet the whole time. And wouldn't you like to step off the plane in London and say to your dog, look, there's Big Ben. That's kind of a nice thing, right?
Absolutely. And do you know what? We've met so many people, and the beauty that I'm so lucky to start this company and meet so many amazing people. Everyone's got their own story. We've met people that one of our first ever passengers actually was a couple who had a dog and it had a heart problem. And there was only 2 doctors in the world that could to perform this operation on the dog, called Jasmine, never forget her name. And yeah, they flew over to London to have the operation on the dog. And and then we have military personnel that fly with us. They're relocating, their families are relocating. Their dog is too big to go on the military jet, so they use us to relocate to Europe, or they're flying back to the US. There's just so many amazing stories, and we're blessed to be able to offer this service to people. And we are the world's first private jet pay-per-seat service for pets, so it's great that...
Now, do you have any animals? Please don't say geckos.
Do you know what? No, I wish we did. We have 2 young daughters, and they are on a huge puppy campaign right now.
Oh,
good
luck, Dad.
No, we have dogs in the family, but currently we're so busy, it would be unfair to have one ourselves because we're traveling all the time.
So what are you going to say to the company that said you're fired? Well, we don't need you anymore. COVID hit. Without being snarky, what do you think think about what you're doing now?
Well, it was unfortunate, really. I mean, my boss at the time was keeping me off on purpose, which was a little bit nasty, to say the least. And it was a job I loved, but I'm so glad that happened in a way. So it's funny how things happen, isn't it? And I don't know what I don't think they'll be too bothered that I've left, but I'm so pleased. And now, whereas I wasn't in control of my future, now I'm more in control in it. And being able to help so many people, that's what it's about for us. And we're very much hands-on. We're a very personalized company. We help people where we can. And yeah, we just...
So going to the dogs, Adam Golder, is a good thing for you.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And you can bring it on because...
Hey, everyone. We've been speaking with Adam Golder. He is the founder of Canine Jets. You got to check it out, caninejets.com. It's also on Instagram and Facebook. I mean, he's starting to carve out an industry to help pets who want to move with their people because of jobs, military, or they won the lottery and they want the dog to go with them on the tour of Big Ben and Parliament.
Thanks so much for making our tails wag by watching this guest interview from Arden Moore's Four-Legged Life.